Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, Lord.
Jesus said to his disciples, "The person who is trustworthy in very small matters is also trustworthy in great ones. And the person who is dishonest in very small ones is also dishonest in great ones. If therefore you are not trustworthy with dishonest wealth, who will trust you with true wealth? If you are not trustworthy with what belongs to another, who will give you what is yours? No servant can serve two masters. You will either hate one and love the other, or be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and man." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
I'm going to show you a page if you admit to what I'm going to ask. Does anyone remember the TV variety shows? I know this guy does. Merv Griffin, Mike Douglas, Jackie Gleason. One of the comedians I used to love, who was always on those shows, was Jack Bacon. I don't know about Jack Bacon. And his humor was always about how cheap he was, how frugal he was, how he always wanted to save his money. And one of the routines he does is says, "The robber would have cost penny, put his gun to his head and say, 'Come on, hand it over. Your money or your life.' And then Jack would rub his chin and say, 'Thank you. Thank you.'" That's exactly what Luke is telling us today. God's asking us, what's more important? Giving your life to me or your possessions? Which will it be? Make a choice. And we stand there and we always say, I do, say, I'm thinking. We can't serve two masters. We often make our possessions more important than God. We need to be more generous, more responsible, share what we have with others. We need to make choices, rich choices in the things that matter to God. A few years ago, I was watching NBC Nightly News. They had a section on Friday night called Make a Difference. And it featured a story of our local woman from Christine Bristol O'Neill. And she was working and saw some illegal things going on in the company. And she reported that. She put herself and her family at risk. And in doing it, in the end, she became a whistleblower and ended up getting a big legal settlement. She suddenly found herself with some new possessions, some money she never in a million years would have thought she would have done. And she wanted to do something responsible. So she and her husband started a foundation. One of the things that she was struggling with was unemployment. And she really wanted to serve the people that were unemployed. So she started a nonprofit called One Life at a Time in Rockland. In fact, just recently went to Braintree because they're serving such a big need in our community. It's a place of support for the unemployed. Unemployment is not just about money. Everybody thinks it's a financial hardship, but it affects you, your self-esteem, your relationships, your outlook on life. And if you don't have the right support, you can go to some pretty dark places very quickly. As I saw on the TV segment, I watched it, I said, isn't that nice? Isn't that a great way of doing it? A local group right down the street from us getting national attention for helping our local unemployed. I didn't know that. And in a million years, I never would have predicted that after a 30-year successful career, I would find myself suddenly unemployed, suddenly needing to reset my career. So I got the courage to call them. was reminded I was not alone. I came to realize that the possessions that I valued would change. In 6 short months, the things that I thought were important, money, career, the big VP title, general manager, security of my future, my retirement, all of that changed. I came to value my time. I made myself a present for my family. I came to value friends and coaching them through struggles that they were having in their career and in their relationships. I found out that a lot of my problems were not as difficult as I thought they were. And I made time, and I made myself more present to God. I came to value my prayer, my gratitude for this faith that we have, in ways I never so strongly had before. Because into our brokenness, our hardships, our struggles, that we often, through the darkness, see the light, and we see what really matters. I really realized what were my most rich and precious possessions. Christine and her people at One Life at a Time don't just say they think it. They make choices every day that are rich in the things that matter to God. I don't know if this happens to you, but it happens to me a couple of times a week. I'm driving down South Hanover Street, exit 16. And I get to the bottom of the end of the offering. The person is walking. In one hand, this sheet has an empty Dunkin' Donuts. And in the other hand, it's a card. A few words on it describe what they were doing. And I'll be honest, a lot of times I wouldn't ignore it. Look the other way. Tune the radio, get it on the phone. Avoid contact. By my inaction, I was saying, thinking, it's easier for us to avoid it and not make a choice. A couple of years ago, I took a new view on how I saw homeless, how I saw people in need. I had a conversion of my heart. I opened it up in a new way. In the quiet solitude of my car now, I stop and put down the window and offer what I had. And you know what happens? I get more back than I give. But God bless you. A nod, a simple thank you. For one brief moment, and it only may be 5 seconds, I see the face of Christ. I experienced the amazing and awesome grace of God. I'm not saying it's easy to make those choices. Everything in our world tells us that it's think of ourselves and others. We need to, as Luke says today, be trustworthy and honest with ourselves and the things that are big and small. But imagine Christine taking the money in life and not starting something big one life at a time. And let's really think about it. Do we really need all that small pocket change? I remember the late sister, who was an inspiration to me, would come to write me to this parish, and she would ask us to support the entire sisters. The strong women in our church that nurtured our own faith. And she would tell us that God puts us in places He wants us to be. And He puts us there even when we don't think we should be there. Even when we question ourselves and we say, we're not smart enough. But with God's grace, we can do anything He wants us to do. He has a plan for each of us. He now has put me in a place He wants me to be. And I certainly have questioned myself that I'm not worthy of smart enough. Yesterday, at the cathedral, the Holy Spirit, common responsibilities. I know I got 7 years to help me with nature. Pope Francis has asked us to go out mercy. Make disciples. Don't be afraid. Serve. That's every one of our responsibilities. And when I get uncertain, I pull out hunger and you might have done a copy of me. You know what? I have no idea where I'm going. The road I'll be taking, I just trust that we'll be leading down the right road. And I'm open to wherever it takes me. St. Augustine wrote once that when you fall in love with God, it is the greatest of all romances. When you seek Him, the greatest adventure. And when you find Him, the greatest achievement. I fell in love with God, and it started a relationship with Jesus many years ago. With two faithful parents. He showed me the good ways of faith. The night in prayer on my knees. Just gratitude for everything we had, even though we didn't have a lot. And they modeled a simple, devoted life for Christ. And I, in turn, seeked God. I found them, the Sisters of St. Joseph, at St. Anne in Dorchester, the Salesians in Don Bosco, the Paul Fathers that Paul ascended. And my journey took me to many communities, some represented here today on the altar. St. Francis Chapel of Peru, St. Paul, the Mission Church of Glastonbury Avenue, the Holy Cross and Truth Center in my brother's home, and the Chapel of South Shore Hospital. But in a very tangible way, I found Him right here at St. Mary of the Sacred Heart. Because the people here don't just say that I'm thinking. People here make rich choices in the things that matter to God. Hanover is first in my heart. But Dorchester is the second. Full second. I ain't never going to part of this accent. But this journey has been one of great discernment, great God wants to serve. Father Chris has given me great guidance and support. And yesterday we were there together, Father, putting my service to the church. To the Church of Boston, to the Archdiocese of Boston, and the Lord we all love so much. I've been asked to help a neighboring parish, St. Paul, with a 7-year assignment at Catholic College. I will take a little of all that we have here and share. Father Chris has always told me to be on the same line for anything he needs. And I'm not going too far. But as I leave on a new path, I just ask for one thing. Just one thing. I ask you prayers. I simply just need your prayers. Please, please, please pray. So here is the prayer for all of us that I lift up. I lift up a thanksgiving for a community that I'll never, ever forget. Never forget what it has done for me. And I lift up a simple petition. Augustine reminded us that our hearts are made for you, O God, and that they shall never rest until they rest in you. Lord, may we all continue to seek, search, and know you. May all of our hearts continue to be restless, and that we think, not be afraid, make rich choices that matter, so that we